Welcome back, everyone. Going into the second half here of Dropped Frames. Stripping.
Hey, JP,
What's up?
can I do something real quick?
What are we testing?
Just before I throw this away, I just realized what it is.
Oh,
Good luck, somebody in chat.
your
One
camera.
copy of Metro Exodus. If you can put that code in, there you go.
So your camera's reversed, but let's just leave it this way because it makes it harder to
even
get.
more fun then.
Yeah. Good luck.
The camera's reversed, and it's a little bit blurry, and there's a light shining on it.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
because
it's
Crow's
great.
going back and forth with it. He's not.
Go get your free game.
Yeah.
Sort of, that you get, maybe.
There you go. I love that it's reversed. That's beautiful. I'm glad I mirrored that.
Sort of?
Yeah.
Not really.
Pull
That's
it back
perfect
a little
right
bit. There you
there.
go, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck, guys. You have to like go pause the video or something.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And then 1,000 clips were just made. So
Mirror reading.
I can't wait till my my next stream when we do the clip section at the end. And it's
At the
just
end
the
of
same
the
thing. It's
stream
just
and
going, hey guys, look at the little thing. Just for 3 minutes. Hey guys, did you get the little clip? That's exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be beautiful. All right, let's talk Division 2. We'll jump into some Indie Sunday after that. Stripping as the guest, I'll let you start as well. So how you feeling?
More of a multiplication guy.
Okay, all right.
JP.
Good joke. Good joke. You're off the show.
Oh, wait, you're a dad now. You get a pass. It's fine.
Oh,
Yeah, thanks, man.
Fuck dad jokes. Dude. That's true. That's true. The dad jokes. Stripping, how you feeling about Division 2? What do you think?
I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying it a lot. I think like I dabbled in the division near the end, the first one, and like they made some really good changes, and the game was in a good place, but they just lost the play base, I think, at that point. And this is basically just a continuation. They just added a few new things, but we've been enjoying it. The main story stuff has been fantastic, I thought. We talked about this, but coming off of Anthem, the gameplay loop was so obvious and repetitive in Anthem, and they go out of their way to make it feel different every time in this game, and the gameplay loop is really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, because
So I've been enjoying.
you're practically doing the same exact thing that you do in every other. I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
Schluter a lot in this, but you're standing on an area and waiting for like a bar to fill. Only this time, the bar's not front and center in front of you, and the way that like the different mobs or different really guys are coming to fight you. There's this guy running at you with a fucking sledgehammer and like one shot you, or like the encounter will start and like all the lights will drop out in the room. And then you just see like a couple lights kick in, and like the monsters will come running at you. It's not.
Yeah, or you're like going through a basement and the lights
Yeah.
are flickering, and you're like knee deep in water. Like the attention to detail is great. Last night after you left, I was doing some side quests, and I got caught in a thunderstorm
I've
outside.
heard that's really good.
And the weather it was so dark, I couldn't see any enemies, they couldn't see me, I couldn't hear gunshots over the thunder. It like completely changed the dynamic of the fight and stuff. It was great. The attention to detail is crazy. Like there's stuff to loot every 5 or 10 feet if you want to. There's always events happening, there's always enemies or people to help everywhere you go. You're always engaged in doing something. So I've really enjoyed the gameplay loop so far. I'm interested in getting to endgame. I think I've seen a couple of people starting to hit endgame today.
Yeah.
I think hopefully we'll hit endgame today and do the Dark Zone stuff.
Yep.
And then obviously the game actually releases on Friday. So there's not even that many people playing right now, which this is the only thing I kind of disagree with, but I guess that's just how it's going to be from now on with games with these staggered releases that they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, they
Right,
give it
so
to streamers.
Able to-
Really.
Till Friday.
What's up?
So if you dropped an extra $40, you got a few days early access to the game.
If you spend
so
$100,
the
you get in.
Yeah, if you
Tuesday.
spend $100, you can play now, and if you just bought the regular game, you could play on Friday. So on Friday, there's going to be a lot more players. The PvP, I assume, will become a lot more engaging and filled.
$100?
Yeah.
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 Oof.
Yeah. Anthem had also some sort of early access to it, right? Or was that just like streamer early access the day before? I don't remember how
That
early
was-
that was.
That was regular early access. Like it was if you had the Origin Premium, you could play a week early. That wasn't anything for streamers.
And that was
That's saying with the $100 for Division 2, you get the year 1 season pass as well.
okay.
So it's not too bad.
Okay, so you're getting content that you would have had to pay for otherwise.
Yeah, so if you're a fan of the Division and you know you're gonna like the second one, maybe it makes sense to get those few extra days and you get your season 1 pass and stuff.
Yeah, I think the short of it is like, for people that are wanting to play the Division, it is basically a cover. Like if Anthem is a mech game with fun combat, Division 2 is like a cover shooter with Gears of War combat. Like it is through and through. This, if you're not a fan of this gameplay, don't get this game. in my
Cover
opinion.
shooter is a matter of opinion.
Yeah, well, Strippin', some people play the game wrong. Some people play the game right. In your case, you're running straight at the guys. We're having to res you every 50 seconds.
I've come off of DMC and you're telling me to get in cover. I'm holding 2 LMGs and a shield. I had to take this shield as an ability because I just wouldn't get in
See,
cover.
that's Strippin' right now on screen, literally just running towards the area where we're basically having to defend. And it's pretty much that every like 3 minutes, like, hey guys, I'm down. I need a res.
I think by the end of our playthrough, both you and Gmart were carrying a revive ability just so you could revive me constantly off the ground.
Yeah.
And I mean, I kind of embraced it. It became my aesthetic, dude.
I mean, I'm fine with it as long like we haven't like failed any. We failed. I think we had to reset like a boss, and that's it. But the cool thing is that the way that they
me with
kind
my
of
shield.
yeah, that was you with your shield. I'll switch over to some of your gameplay here in a sec so we can see the shield in action.
I have a shield with a shotgun that rests in the divot on top of the shield, and so I basically just push up on people and hit them with a shotgun.
That's awesome.
That was like my whole thing. Yeah, it's great. Apart from when the shield breaks and then it's on a 2-minute cooldown and I'm dead on the ground. But when I'm not, it's incredible.
Yeah. I think that's in terms of what people can expect from like speccing and like the different ways to play or different classes, so to speak. Everyone starts out as a normal person, but then you can go and like choose your different abilities, which Strippin's been playing with a shield. I basically kind of went like a healer route. So I have like a little healing drone that I can then send to different teammates. And I also have a res drone. So if someone dies, I can like throw this res drone out over near them and it will just bring them back to life.
This is after you left,
Yeah.
Jimmy, and I discovered this guy who's got pinned by a fire truck somehow. I discovered the magic that is a SVD without a scope.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And this is so I spent the last couple of hours just basically like soloing stuff.
Yeah. This
these
is
are all
outside.
side-
Yeah. Side
Oh,
stuff.
I did a lot of the side missions that you did with the the independence thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they were incredible. They're all really, really good. The side missions as well.
Yeah, there's multiple things like it's not breaking any new ground in the Schluter world, but everything
really
that
not.
it's doing, it is for my interest the best version of that to exist yet. Like everything is
really
super
solid and
streamlined.
polished.
Yeah, there's so much polish. You could tell that like this is the second one. There's so little loading. You go out of missions by literally just walking out of the mission and you're playing. There's no loading. It doesn't like you don't have to like
thing to
collect your
note
loot and load and get it during the load screen. You just walk out.
No load screens.
Yeah, it's
Like,
really good.
no load. You load into the game once and that's it. And the only time you hit a load screen is I think it takes about 10 seconds to like fast travel to anyone in your group.
Yeah.
You can fast travel to anyone in your group wherever they are as long as they're not in combat. So you can literally like hang out in town and buy some stuff and just fast travel to your friend in a mission when you're ready. The co-op is just drop in, drop out. It's great. It's so good and well optimized, and just it feels immersive because you're never loading, ever.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it for sure. And I think the other thing too is it's such a going like if you play Anthem and you jump into this game, it's such a contrast when it comes to the loading stuff. Because in Anthem, like I can disconnect from this game. Like I can Alt F4 if I'm changing a graphics setting and get back in game faster than Anthem would load me into a mission. That's like how much of a stark contrast it is. Like you're
And it doesn't
doing stuff
remove
constantly.
JP from the party too. He can
Yeah, it doesn't
disconnect,
remove him
like,
from the
reboot
party.
his game,
Yeah, one button and you're
come
back
back
in a
and fast
party.
travel.
Like it's simple things like that we shouldn't even have to praise. That is like a breath of fresh air, which is kind of crazy to say. But again, if you're not into, running up to a wall, pressing spacebar, and waiting to get your gun reloaded to shoot, you're not going to enjoy this game because that's like the bread and butter of it. But if you are into that stuff, it seems like I think I'm like 15 or 16 hours in, and we still haven't beat like the main story. Apparently when you beat the main story, the entire game literally changes, like the world changes and you're met with an entire new area to explore, or the current area that you're exploring, but it's entirely redone. And like specializations open up. You get like a new weapon from a class that you get to choose. So I'm real curious to see what all that stuff means and is, because I haven't done it yet. I know like a couple streamers like Italian and Broman have, and they speak very highly of it. So curious to see how that stuff actually breaks down. But yeah, it seems I'm enjoying it so far. We'll see what happens. We'll probably hit endgame like Strippin said today, and I'll have a little bit more to talk about on that. I think the raid is launching in like 2 or 3 weeks. That's an 8-person raid. What was that, Co?
Yes, the shield I'm using right now is actually deflects bullets back at the attacker, which is why I was kind of standing there like an idiot waiting for them to shoot me.
You don't have to defend your gameplay, man. That's not what we're. That's not why.
I know, it just seemed kind of weird while I was standing there. I'm just saying that shield deflects bullets.
Gotcha. What were you saying, Co, about the raid? Oh, you're actually just hard muted this time.
Oh, there we go. How many people are in the raid group?
I think it's 8.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, they announced what the raids are going to be? Are they just going to be like super spongy big enemies, or are they trying to do?
Yeah, let's talk about to address kind of the sponginess. I think that was the biggest thing that people had going against the Division 1 when it first launched. I mean, one of the big things. There was a lot of stuff when the Division 1 launched. I don't know how they're going to handle the raid, only because I haven't really sought that information out. I don't know if they're out there talking about how it's going to be handled. There's dungeons in the game right now, and there's like big bosses in the game right now. And they have to get over this hurdle, right? Where if you're playing like Anthem or Division or really any game where a mob has a lot of HP, it's very easy to say like, oh, well, that guy's a demon or that guy's a fucking alien. And that guy, like, you can break this suspense of disbelief by saying like, oh, well, they're not human. In this game,
That's
you're
why I
only
just got him in the face 50 times and he didn't.
Yeah, in this game, you're only fighting humans. So the way that they've kind of gotten around it is this armor system. So like when you fight a big boss, he's literally a giant, from all the ones that we fought for the most part, are these giant guys with a shit ton of armor on them. And they have weak points on them. And you can also, if you shoot the same piece, like a chest piece or a head or a shoulder or a back, that armor will start to kind of degrade and then it'll eventually just break off. And then you can just like demolish the boss outright. So it's kind of I wouldn't say elegant, but it's kind of a way to get around that to I shot this guy in the head 500 fucking times. Why is he not dead? It's, oh, he's got a lot of fucking armor. That I guess that makes sense. But if that's something that's going to really bother you, like we still fight mobs. Strippin's fighting one by himself here, so the mobs are lower difficulty in that sense. But every once in a while, we'd fight a boss and it was like, all right, I'm going to put like 400 rounds of LMG into this guy before he actually starts taking like real life damage.
Well, it does look like now, Strippin, do you remember off chance how far through the game you are and what we're watching now? Because I mean, I just watched you 2-shot a guy.
Yeah. So right now I'm doing side missions. So these are basically just designed to help you level up, and they're just like cool side content. But they're not. It's not repetitive. They're all like unique stories. Like one of them is like to, rid the Lincoln statue of a camp of enemies and all this kind of stuff. I'm level 22 here.
And Max is
doing
30?
a level.
Yeah.
Max is 30, and I'm doing the side quest is scaled to your level. So this side quest I'm doing here is 22 as well. And basically the way it works is when you co-op with other players, enemies become harder, but you receive a co-op group-wide buff. So your stats get buffed a little bit. The enemies get harder to just balance out like you're playing with other people. Also, I realized when I was soloing JP, that if you get downed and you're playing solo, you actually just go back to a checkpoint in the encounter. which isn't what happens multiplayer. If you actually group wipe multiplayer, you have to just respawn at a safe house and make your way back.
Yeah.
So it's a very different gameplay experience. But I like the fact that they have catered to the solo player, because no doubt there is people that just want to play on their own and enjoy it.
Yeah, soloing was like, because that's the test, right? I come on here all the time and say like, oh, that game's fun with friends. But like I played on yesterday, Tuesday, for like 4 hours and did a shit ton of side missions, kind of like you're doing here. And I had a pretty good time. There wasn't ever a point where I'd be like, this would be more fun with friends. Like it would be the same amount of fun for me, which I think kind of speaks volumes a little bit.
Also,
I've
kind of found an exploit here. I'm actually using a sniper rifle and I've removed the scope. So I'm just like shooting enemies in the chest at point blank with an SVD sniper.
The scopes are kind of...
That's why it looks like they're going down so fast, because I'm actually just using a sniper rifle.
Yeah, that's nice.
The scopes are kind of like not... I'm not a fan of them. I'm more a fan of what you're doing. It's not necessarily an exploit. It's just a different way to play. So there's a guy with armor, by the way. You can kind of see what it's like as a solo guy.
You just kind of run around him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's got a grenade launcher, and so what you can actually do is shoot the grenades in the air if you're good enough before they hit you, but I'm terrible. So he's just raining hellfire on me, and I'm panicking. But one of the other ways they've got around this kind of bullet sponge thing is there's so much more variation in the enemies this time around. You've got medics. There's guys that have like custom battle bots that they drive out to
like
kill
the
you
TV
with
show,
blood
like
storm.
literally the TV show. A battle bot
Like
runs at
literally
you with
Robot
fucking
Wars.
chainsaws on the front of it, and like trying to get your
Yeah,
legs.
it's
Do you get a
amazing.
battle bot? Does anyone get a battle bot?
I don't know
on
if
our
you
team?
can get one. I don't know.
I haven't had a battle bot. I have a little turret in this one. I don't have a battle bot.
To be fair,
there's
if
obviously,
you could ride around the battle bot division, that probably would convince you to play it.
Yeah.
they like control them on a little pad. You can see them hiding in a corner and they're controlling their robot, trying to find you.
Yeah.
Which is funny. I've come across like flamethrowers, bow and arrow guys. I've come across turret engineers.
Yeah.
Just,
The medics
guys
are by
with
far the
bombs
worst.
literally strapped to their vest and they just run at you and try and explode.
Suicide
They
runners
put in-
suck.
Yeah, all this variation of enemies to kind of make it a lot more enjoyable and make the gameplay loop not as repetitive.
Right.
So
Dude, I'll be honest with you. With your accent, I thought you said bowel bot, and I was like, a bowel
it just slings
bot?
shit at
Like,
you. Yeah.
It's just,
comes out
your
of
intestines.
ass.
Yeah.
That sounds like something Japanese to make to improve your toilet experience.
So what you saw there is I actually shot the explosive canister on his back, the boss, and that's what killed him in like 2 hits.
Yeah, they have like weak points on them that are visibly distinct and kind of stand out for people, which is cool.
So, a couple quick questions for you too. So, you guys have, if I'm understanding this properly, you guys said today people are going to be getting to the end game.
Some people have already hit. So end game is basically finishing the main story and hitting 30, and then you do a stronghold, and like the world, like the results of that mission literally change the entire world, and everything's like reset, so to speak. You're still level 30 in max level, but it changes the game. I don't know in what ways because I haven't seen it. I'm trying to keep it I'm trying to not spoil myself from it. 'Cause it's supposed to be a pretty cool thing. But yeah.
So at that point, does the player base get split? Like the high level players go to
I
that
don't know.
world?
I think so. I think it does.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. So do we know anything about what the end game grind is going to be like?
So
Yes and
the
no.
dark zone is an important element of it. I don't know if you know what the dark zone is, but the dark zone is PvEVP. So you go into these there's 3 special zones, and once you go into the dark zone, there's actually a completely separate leveling system from the normal levels. Everyone's boosted to max level when you're inside in terms of stats. And then you have your own dark zone levels, which you can get different dark zone abilities. You basically do PvE encounters, but PvP is enabled. So
Wait, dark
you get
zone abilities?
yeah. So they've added a leveling tree for dark zone stuff. So I haven't looked into it fully, but basically you can have more roguish elements and bonuses to going rogue. Going rogue is when you kill other players, and stuff like that. So they've added this whole dark zone tree and element to the dark zone system. And the idea behind the dark zone is that it drops better than average gear. Like the best gear comes from the dark zone, but But in order to get that, you have to kill the enemies, get the gear, and then extract it on a heli. But while you're extracting it, other players get notified. They can decide if they want to go rogue and steal your stuff, or you can decide if you want to steal someone else's stuff. So there's like this PvP element to like the end game where you're farming for the best gear, but there's high risk, high reward kind of stuff involved. And then obviously they've got the strongholds too. But it looks like it takes about 3 days to kind of reach end game, which is why I was saying people are starting to see it now if they started when the game dropped. So we're probably looking at reaching it today as well.
Today or tomorrow, probably. Yeah.
So a couple quick questions to follow up on. Is the gear you get from Dark Zones the same as the gear that you get from PvE strongholds?
We don't. I don't
sure.
know.
We don't know.
Yeah, I can't actually answer that. Chat might be able to. But
does the game force you to enter PvP zones for the best gear?
I would hope
Chat's
not.
saying no. Chat's saying no.
Okay.
It's just a different way to gear up. But so kind of like Diablo, they've added sets to Division gear. So now you can get a certain like 3-piece set bonus for having a certain named set. You know, same backpacks.
And we're getting those bonuses now. This is not like end game. This is like leveling gear that you get these bonuses.
Oh, they also
from.
did it in Division 1? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been finding that really cool. And like, you don't necessarily want to wear the best stuff. You maybe want to build towards set bonuses or other stuff. They've added you can mod all the different skills. So I can have a turret, but I can also mod that turret if I spec into like skill slots and skill abilities.
Yep.
Or if you spec into just like shielding stuff, maybe there's a really good gun mod that you can kind of. They've basically gated a lot of the mods behind how you build your character. So I found a really good mod that was like, if you crit, you get 50% more crit chance for 5 seconds. But in order to have that, I have to have offensive stats on 5 pieces of gear to qualify, so that perk will activate itself. So I have to build myself a certain way to get these offensive perks. And if my gear is defensive, I'll only be able to take maybe defensive leaning perks. So you're kind of like, there are archetypes, but it's all through gear.
Yeah.
Everything's through.
So does the game make it easy to switch between those?
Yes. In the sense that like right now, mid mission, I could hit my inventory key and I could do whatever the fuck I wanted and then just go back to fighting. It doesn't pause the game, but it goes fast enough. Like if I wanted to equip a different gun really quick, I could just do that. Now, I don't think you can do that during also, like boss fights, but you can do it in
there is loadouts as well, Code, that you can swap to on the fly.
Right.
So you can have saved loadouts for different specs.
Okay, I want like all of this stuff in Division 2 with Anthem's gameplay.
Right? Yeah.
Shoved together?
Yeah.
Like, shit, it all sounds awesome, but Division is so boring for me.
Everything is streamlined to where you're just like, you want it in like, if this game was in a different setting and we were fighting fucking aliens or something like that, I'd be like, this game's pretty sick. But because we're just fighting like other humans, I'm like, look, if you don't like a third person cover shooter where you're fighting other humans, you're not going to like this game. Like that's what this game is through and through.
Developed, it looks thought out, it looks polished. There's an interesting PvP system. Like there's a bunch of QOL shit. Like this is everything I wanted Anthem to be.
Yeah.
Without the fun gameplay.
Here's how far they go, though, Code. Like, and a lot of the stuff that I'm praising was in Division 1. It's just I never played towards the end of Division 1 where they actually started fixing all this stuff. They've gone so far as to add a, like, you know how when you play MMOs, or like World of Warcraft, for example, they have training dummies? They have training dummies in this game to test your DPS, your accuracy, your crit rate, like all of the... There's a shooting range that you can walk into to test all this stuff. Like, that's how far they've gone in that type of...
builds and stuff and like actually like hacks and
they've like given you all the tools to create and like perfect different builds that you want to run in raiding and PvP and everything else.
And yeah, like it's so good.
Let me just the devs a little bit. If you want to bring players like me into your game, design an entire class that gets significant bonuses if it doesn't use cover. If you deliver to me a class
I'm the same. You're a man after my own heart.
And basically, like you not using cover was a good thing, I would play this game.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Lord. Strippin's kind of like
they're not like a shield class, not like a tank. I mean, like fast movement, like infiltrator kind of thing. Like if you're not in cover, then enemies have a reduced chance to target you. You know, like something like that. Something where it'd be like much more like it's the whole reason. Now, again, I'm speaking personally. The whole reason I can't stand this game is because it feels like a shooting gallery to me. Like it feels like find a bit of cover, stay there as long as possible, just shooting from one place. Unless someone throws a grenade at you, then move to another set of cover.
Yeah.
Like it's, and I like the gameplay. It's personal. I'm not saying it's bad.
Chat's saying there is kind of stats like that though. There is an aggro system, and you can have decreased aggro as a gear stat.
Yeah,
So
there's
kinda
tiers
do it.
of like what Co's kind of getting at, but there's not like the full on.
I know what you're saying,
Division
though. You
class.
want to be a ninja.
That's
I get
my
it.
problem. Is like there's so many cool things in Division. It looks like a great game, but like I have foundational issues with the gameplay. That's and that you can't fix with a patch or a fun mechanic.
No.
And that's
Yep.
what drives me crazy because I'd love to play this game and I'd love to love this game, but it's not.
If they took this exact like formula and made like a fantasy style game, would you be about that?
I think a lot of people would, man.
without the cover. Like the big
cover.
thing for me is I don't want to feel like the game wants me to plant my ass in one place and shoot enemies. I like movement. I like engagement. I like positional stuff. I like. It's one of the reasons I liked Anthem so much. Is because I never stopped. I was always moving around somewhere, and I liked it enough to where I could not really care about all the horrible stuff. Like I was
That's kind
saying,
of how I
my-
play though. I use a shield to like basically like go from cover to cover to cover and flank the enemy, and that's the play style I kind of adopt.
Yeah, maybe I should try
Whereas
that. Or
JP and Gmark kind of just plant themselves and just pull out an LMG, and I'm
Let me be very
around the
clear.
side and-
We're rezzing stripping a lot. So it's definitely
Right, that
not the
much.
best
Okay,
way.
not that much.
It's not necessarily the
Maybe twice a fight, but it's not a lot. Okay.
it's not like the quintessential way to play. Like they want you to get behind cover and they want you to sit there. From what I can tell, yeah.
And yeah, for the record, guys, I for everyone in chat being like, "Well, Co obviously never played the game because you have to move." I know there are some movement mechanics.
You still have to
I know
go
that
cover though, yeah.
Of course, there's some of that stuff in there. I'm just talking about like the main gameplay loop. What you're going to be doing for 80% of your adventure is going to be sitting behind cover, looking for enemies to pop their head out, and then trying to shoot them in there, and then moving only when you need to.
Yep.
And again, some people love that. That's great. I mean, hell, you're talking to a guy that's I'm not even a Gears of War fan because of that, and those are great games. So it's yeah. But man, it's almost hard hearing you guys talk about how cool all the other stuff is.
Well, I really wonder, like, before, like, when they decided that they were going to make Division 2, if they were like, what if we just changed the actual, like, core gameplay and made a different game? Like, I wonder if that was some marketing guy would be like, look, guys, you're not really into, like, human versus human stuff. They want to fight some dragons or some aliens or something. And, like, no, we're going to stick with the human shit. I wonder if they went the different way, how much potentially bigger this game would be. Like, I wonder how many people are like Co, I guess is what I'm saying, that don't play it for that specific reason. And if it was ever a development thought to be like, what if we didn't do human versus human stuff? Or if that was just so far away.
They could easily put a robot spin on this. That could be kind of fun. Have like some kind of like, while all the humans were dying due to this virus and just floundering, there was like this little robot faction that was like building up and learning, and then all of a sudden they bust out on the scene, and all of a sudden you're fighting crazy cool killer robots and Terminator shit. Like that could be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a little bit about like how grounded the game is, but there's a mission where you go and save the president, and then the president basically comes out and says like, "I'm not here to win votes. I'm here to kick ass," or something like that. And you're like, "What the fuck?" And he's got like an MP5 as he says that. And you're like,
when you save the president, he like picks up a fucking gun and just starts tearing everyone up. And you're
Yeah.
like, Mr. my man.
yeah. So like they're definitely not 100% in like the real. I mean, sure, I guess that's real, but they're not 100% like in the realm of realism.
No, these days it'd be like, "Oh, is that a gun? Oh, I have bone spurs."
Yeah, that's true. If it was realism, that's true. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Wait,
Was that your Trump impression? Because it was pretty good.
That's not a bad.
I would never comment on sitting president.
Yeah, that's un-American. Stripping can do that all he wants because he's not American. But
Good
My
answer.
green
That
card's
was
up
a
for renewal,
test.
dude. I gotta double down. I love America.
oh god. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what else to say apart from like it is without a doubt the best. Everything around the actual gameplay and from like the loading, the stuff to do, the being able to just jump in with other people and play, the different activities, the way the loot handled, the way that you can go. And they basically solved it so like if you don't particularly like a mod on a weapon, you get the same mods for all of your weapons and you can go and mod every weapon. So you get like 4 mod slots and you can change like, hey, I want this scope that gives me 15% more crit and 15% less reload or something like that. Like that's, and Strippin doesn't even use any of that. So again, you can play however you want.
Actually, after you guys left, I modded my weapons and I was whooping ass.
15 hours into the game, you learned the
first
mod
time.
system.
Doesn't it have like a
In my
modded
life.
shield? Can you mod your shield with like more cool weapons on
Yes.
them? Just like
Yeah.
line it with shotguns
Yeah.
and just be like pulling triggers like all around the outside of it while you're trying to.
I'm
hold-
hoping so, dude. I'm hoping I can. I'm hoping I can make a shield that is just 19 shotguns just duct taped
Yeah,
together, and
no
I can
shield,
hold it up.
just shotgun barrels.
Yeah,
That's all
and
it
just
is.
hit fire in every direction. That's my dream.
There, there's
Just like set on a walker, just like
The walking frame is shotgun.
that'd be
Yeah.
perfect. Perfect.
just have like a short like a curtain rod through the triggers and just pull them back at the same time.
Yeah,
If that's not my end game, I'm out. Dude.
He's out.
I'm out.
he's out.
If that's not the end game, I don't know what they're thinking.
There's different like settlements that you can upgrade that then have different things within them. There's different projects in each settlement that give you different upgrades for your guns. Like,
Dude, it's I
Everything's
was
so well thought
playing
out.
after you guys left, and just honestly, I went to one of the settlements, and because I'd done a bunch of side quests, like the housing had improved, they were growing crops, they were playing music, like the world. There's so much attention to detail, and you feel like you're making a difference and stuff. They really like went above and beyond with
Yeah,
that kind of element of the game.
and it's not just like that stuff starts happening. It's like the actual settlements change in game, and like a crop field comes up in the middle of a settlement, and like they build a movie theater within one of the settlements, or there's an arcade where you can go play or watch kids play the For Honor game, which is like an arcade system.
Really, the only thing that I really care about though are the settlements constantly asking for help.
No.
Yes and no. I know this is a meme,
Yeah,
but
well,
yes
I mean,
and no.
We haven't hit endgame. Maybe they'll ask for help again at endgame, but
Yeah.
for the most part, they give you some side quests and they give you some
I
main
seriously
quests.
was not expecting an actual answer to that question for the record.
Yeah, I mean there's an actual answer, but yeah.
Yeah, so like
Just
a
wanna
lot of
make
the stuff
sure.
is
Okay.
it's basically like what would you call it? Like just territorial. There's basically territory that you take from enemy factions, and then AI will hold that territory, and you'll have to supply them with food and water and help them out. And sometimes they'll lose the territory again to the AI, and you'll have to go and help them retake it and stuff.
Yep.
So
So-
there's
And that's
there's
just
areas
in the open
game-
world. You'll just walk up to a control
Yeah.
point. You have to do a fight. The
And
AI come and claim it.
You'll
You get
see
rewards.
packs of enemies
Yeah.
like carrying water and food and stuff to their camps that you have to intercept. You'll see allies carrying water back from these points that you've captured. And if you lose them, then suddenly like the ally AIs, they don't have water anymore. They're eventually going to lose their stronghold.
Yep.
So you have to kind of like keep tabs on the world as
And
you're kind of
So,
going
and this
around, which is
unique
cool.
to every person's game, or is this global for everyone in the map at the time?
Well, so that's the thing. When you're in the world, if you're not grouped, you're the only person in that world until you go to like a camp, and then other people will start to populate within that camp. So you don't see
Oh,
other
wait.
players out in the open.
When you're just running around outside doing stuff, you never see other players.
Yeah, as
No.
far as I know, you don't see other players unless they're in
You
your
see them.
group.
You see them
Oh.
in safe houses, and you can also like. There's a laptop at safe houses that lets you matchmake and find a party.
Yeah.
And typically, you only see your party out in the world.
Now that
Like
might
your
change
four
at end
players.
game. I don't know. But yeah,
Except the dark zone. In the dark zone, you see all the other players.
Okay,
Yes.
so just real quick, kind of a side question there. Dark Zone is how many players at the same time?
that's a good question. 8,
That'd be a
16,
question for
probably
Pat.
like something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Okay, it's not like a battle royale, right? It's not like
Chat saying
100 players,
12.
like a city block kind of thing or anything. Is
No,
it
12 players. You'll see.
Yeah.
12 players? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And teams can be as big as 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there could be 3 teams in one Dark Zone all trying to kill each other.
Yep. Or you can have 2 teams working against a group of like people that have
Rogues.
gone rogue. Yeah.
Now, is Dark Zone endgame only? No,
No,
it's not because it lets us, right?
You can enter. There's like a
Okay.
main story quest that you can enter in like 5 or 6, level 5 or 6.
You could go in at level 5, and basically it boosts your stats to 30. So everyone's stats are normalized going into a dark zone. So it's like to make it more fair for the PvP element.
Is it good level scaling?
It's like 1 to 10.
Yes.
Or wait, no, maybe it just scales you to 30.
Everyone gets scaled to level 30.
Yeah. It's
and
it's
then
gear
obviously,
normalization is what happens. So
Yeah.
everyone has the same damage and stuff like that, I think. So there's
I'm assuming if you
Yeah.
have actual level 30 gear, you're going to be better than someone who has level 5 gear. But the base stats are normalized.
I think it's all normalized, but there's other dark zones that are not. That are just like pure gear.
2 of the 3 dark zones are normalized. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they're the 2 we haven't been to then, JP.
Yeah.
Did you guys do dark zone stuff leveling up?
We did the tutorial of it. I don't know if Strippin and we've been playing with Gmart as well.
So you can't level up in the dark zone because the dark zone has its own leveling system. So you can't just be like, I'm going to go to the dark zone until I'm level 30.
Okay.
Yeah. It's called dark zone levels, and it basically is a completely different leveling system with different like perks and abilities.
Do dark zone levels affect your non-dark zone character?
I don't think so.
No.
They only affect the fact that you can, I think, get gear from vendors, maybe, or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. It's in-game stuff, so I haven't seen any of it, or I'm not knowledgeable about it.
Okay, and since I've been asking questions nonstop, I'm sorry, I'm going to slow down here. But my final kind of question here. I remember in Division 1, they introduced this game mode that got a lot of people to come back. It was kind of survival-y, battle royale-y. I heard
Battle Royale one.
Is that in this one?
I can't answer that.
Because I remember people
don't-
loved it to the point where people were
Dude,
telling me, like, I don't even play Division, but I love this mode.
No, it literally got me go back to play, and apparently it's not in this currently.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
seeing a lot of yets, though.
Yeah.
Not yet.
They're saying not yet. So, yeah, I think it's
Not
something
yet.
they plan to add.
It's being added.
There's a
It
roadmap
was
that you can go and check out.
Really
Kyle.
fun.
Oh, yeah, I kind of glimpsed the roadmap. It didn't... but maybe I don't think I understood.
Did you play that game mode code in the first one?
No, I didn't. I never got to. I was actually
was
thinking
really-
maybe do if they put it in.
It was really good. They basically normalized your gear, and it was sort of battle royale. You joined a lobby with 24 other people. You would basically be dropped into the city. You'd find gear, and then when you were ready, you'd go into the dark zone. And the dark zone is where like the finale would happen. And basically, only one person got extracted out on a helicopter, and it was basically a fight to the finish.
So wait a second, though.
Extracted out.
It was like a BR game, but you got to choose when you entered the PvP?
Yes, I think you got forced in there through like harsher conditions, but yeah, basically,
Kind of cool. It's
You
kind of cool.
ended when you were ready, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it
Jack-
is a blizzard. Yeah, it's a blizzard that forces you in
Okay.
to the dark zone.
There you go.
Ah,
Yeah.
I was so bad. I used to just follow Gmart and then go to the dark zone.
well, dudes, thank you for answering all my newbie questions. This has been
Yeah.
enlightening.
No.
Don't know if I'm going to try it, but God, it sounds awesome. Like,
It's again, it's the most polished shooter I've ever played. The fucking loot is non-stop, and as soon as you pick up a weapon, you can go into your inventory and equip it right away and get those bonuses or use whatever weapon you just grabbed. We've been playing for like 17 hours, and we're still finding guns that have like a different shooting thing to them, but they're all grounded in reality for the most part. You got a level 1 exotic, which shot a little bit different, and I'm assuming there's other ones as well, but the level 1 exotic that you get, I think, for like pre-ordering or something, is when you click in, it shoots. It's a sniper rifle. And then when you let go, it shoots again. So it's really awkward to play when it first happens because you click and it shoots once and then twice, and the second shot just misses. So you have to like train your brain to not let go of the click until you're ready to fire and aim. So I'm hoping the other ones are a little bit more... I don't know. I hope that there's different mechanics with some of the other exotics because that one was kind of annoying. It didn't play the best. I don't. Out of the 3 of us, none of us used it after that first level.
No, I
weapon
put it away
type
immediately.
gets one exotic?
Yeah. What was that, Co?
Every weapon type gets one exotic?
I don't know how many exotics there are for each weapon type, but I think that there's a lot of exotics in the game.
Oh, that's good to hear. That
Yeah.
bothered the hell out of you, Anthem, dude. It's like you get the weapon type and the one cool version.
Oh, they only had 1 per? Jeez.
Pretty
That's
much,
kinda rough.
man. Yeah, like that's
It's
one of the
completely
best-
different
Yeah.
from Anthem. The attention to detail in all the guns, how they all have their own unique reload animation, and they all look different. And you can like camo skin them when you customize them and mod them, and you see the mods on the gun. Like they've really put a lot of detail into that element. Whereas Anthem, every gun looked exactly the fucking same.
Yeah.
There's a crafting system as well, by the way. You can disenchant gear. There's full-on crafting system where you can craft.
Disenchanted?
Yeah.
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 You can go over salvage gear. Yeah.
You can reroll stats on gear. You can do everything.
Yeah. I think it has the same thing too, where you can that level 1 exotic that I'm talking about. Once you hit 30, you can make that a level 30 gun just by paying resources or whatever the fuck it is. So they've kind of, you can tell it's the second one of these that they've made because they've answered a lot of questions and a lot of issues that so many people were complaining about. So I'm real eager to get to endgame and actually see what that stuff is and do some of the dungeons and see what the difficulty of that is.
I've been told so much that all the depth is at the end game.
Yeah.
Building different builds and getting creative and rolling stats on guns and trying to
You
find
know,
those elusive red drops.
I gotta say, I'm not excited to try this myself, but I'm actually pretty excited to see how you guys get into the end game. I'm very interested to see if this is going to be hey, let's play it for a few hours and see how it is now the next game, or if either one of you are going to become addicted. Let's max out every slot kind of thing. Are either of you feeling that way right now? Are either of you I want to take my character to the end? I'm loving this game. This is awesome.
I think we'll both take it to the end. I want to see the raid. Yeah. I want to see what it looks like.
I'm looking at the launch date for Sekiro, and I'm thinking, got nothing else going on.
Yeah. There's not much going out till Sekiro on the 25th. So.
That's a good point. My schedule's up to, the kid.
Yeah. Yeah. You're kind of, yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Here, the last thing I'll say, here's how far they've gone for quality of life. When you're salvaging gear, disenchanting gear, you can mark gear one by one with a click of a button, and it automatically goes to the next set of gear. So you can just spam that button like I just did right there, and then you can press one button to disenchant everything at once. That's how far they've gone with the quality of life.
That's kind of awesome. And please never stop using the word disenchant.
I use that for everything. Disenchant in PoE, you disenchant in this, you disenchant in fucking Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft. It's all,
That's excellent.
The president has a disenchanter specialist.
He does. He's got
just to the left of his office, and so
look, man, that's thousands of hours of World of Warcraft in my brain. That's what that is right there. Blizzard should trademark disenchanting.
You can also disenchant. Literally, if you see a drop on the floor, like a gun, and you're not going to equip it, you can actually just disenchant it then and there on the ground and pick up the components.
Or just mark it and do it later. Yeah, that's crazy.
Great.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about any of the leveling systems, how you put spec points into all the quality of life stuff right at the beginning, inventory slots and all that stuff. But there's a lot. So I'll probably bring it back up next week and hopefully be able to talk a little bit about Endgame. But that's
by the way, for all the people screaming at me that I should try it, I did try it. I played 4 hours of Div 2. I want to like it, but
if you don't like cover shooters, you will not like it. It doesn't matter how much content it has, you won't that's a core. That is the core mechanic.
Yeah.
It's
what you like.
It's the same thing. It doesn't matter how many amazing mechanics a racing game has if it comes out. I don't play racing games. It's just sorry.
Yeah. I just wondered if with all the stuff that's in Division 2, if Bungie or BioWare is looking at that and they're just fuck, they have everything, but it's in the wrong universe. We need to get all that stuff and bring it over to our universe, and then we've got a winner, right? Because that's all I got to do.
It's so ironic that there's so much depth and content in the genre that people are kind of about, and then the creative genre there's nothing but the idea, the concept.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
First world problems, gamer problems.
Exactly.
And real quick, Injustice in chat, someone was like, well, Ko liked Last of Us, didn't he? It's a little bit different when the game has a super engaging linear story and amazingly deep characters. That's a little bit different. I was actually talking about that on my stream today. When I Division 2, I never, one of the reasons I never really kept playing it after the beta, and I didn't play it again while the beta was on, is I never really felt connected to the world and the story. I didn't really care. Sure, the characters were kind of cool and some of the stuff was okay, but it's not a Last of Us. It's not it's not really awesome, engaging things happening relatively frequently all the time. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter what kind of gameplay Last of Us has. The story and characters are amazing. So
it definitely carried that game. Yeah,
Me and
gameplay
JP
Last
couldn't
of Us.
tell you why the Division is a thing or why we're saving the world. We
There's
don't know.
multiple times. Yeah, Gmart played a lot of Division 1. There's multiple times in the story I'm like, wait a minute. So what are we doing in this? It doesn't matter. Let's go collect that fucking
Wait,
piece
why
of
is the
loot.
president here?
Why
are
is
we
the
saving
president here? What? We're saving the president? When
What
did
do we
this
do?
happen? What this motherfucker pop up?
I think multiple times Gmont just said, "Are we the good guys?" We just didn't know. We weren't sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of less story and more schlooting. That's exactly what me and Strippin are all about. All right, Zeke, it's Indie Sunday time. Can you pause your auto chess game? Can you just hit the pause button there?
No pause on that shit. Sorry, unfortunately, no pause.
Do you want us to do
However,
news
it's all right
until the game
It's all right
finishes?
if I do a lose. It's all right if I do a losing streak, though. It's okay. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go Indie Sunday.
All right. What is this? Is the first Indie Sunday game?
Nope.
It's
This
not?
is. Oh yes. I'm sorry.
A Case of Distrust?
This is. You're right. I'm sorry. I saw the cat and I saw like the background colors and I went, "You're on Cat Lady." We already talked about how much that game sucks dick, but. This is actually a different game. This game is called A Case of Distrust. And the reason why I picked this game, let me just start at the beginning. The last 2 weeks I've been doing Indie Sundays I haven't picked brand new games that have come out in the past, weeks or whatever, because I have so many goddamn indie games that have 0 minutes played that I create a menu and a straw poll every Indie Sunday with 7 or 8 games. And I've been doing that for a while now, which means I can only get to like 4 or 5, maybe 6 games. So it leaves some games out. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been doing a 0 minutes played edition of Indie Sunday, meaning the games that didn't get voted on. And there's probably a reason why some of them didn't. But, every once in a while you find a diamond in the rough. So this game I've had for a while. It came out in February and no one ever picked it, and probably for good reason. It's not a bad game. Let me just say that right off the top. It's not a bad game. It's a bad game to stream. This would be a fucking excellent mobile game. The reason why I picked it and purchased it, not only because it was suggested to me, but because it kind of reminded me at the time of this mobile game called oh God, what is it called? It's something 6 or something 7. It's a mobile game that's been around forever. It's a wonderful like text-based game, and you like turn your like iPad around.
Killer 6?
No, not Killer 6. No.
Rainbow 6. That's it. That's the one.
No, God damn it. What is it called?
Let's go back to Division 2. So in Division 2, it's really Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Half-Life 6.
No,
I don't know why that killed
why
me.
why is 6 afraid of 7? No, it's a great mobile game that's based on, it's like a text-based game. Device 6. Thank you very much. That's what it is. Device 6 is the name of the game. By the way, one of the best mobile games I've played. It's a fantastic game. Text-based adventure. You pick a mystery, you solve stuff, you pick stuff out. That's why this game reminded me of that. It's a game developed by The Wandering Ben is the name of the developer, because the name is Ben. The guy who made it is Ben Wander is his name. Published by Serenity Forge. It's $14.99 on Steam. You can get a free demo if you want to check it out without paying anything. But it's text-based. It's really slow. There's no voice acting in it. But it plays. I don't want to say visual novel, because the visual novel is actually like a game style. It's, you go to a place, it has cool like background, like light jazzy music. It takes place in the 1920s, it actually takes place in 1924. But you play this lady, Phyllis Malone she used to be a police officer. Now she's a private eye. And she's, during the time of Prohibition, trying to like get cases and make ends meet, because she's she's broke, and also she's a woman in the 20s trying to be a private eye, and she's taking all the cases that she possibly can to you know, pay for cat food and you know, pay for herself and stuff like that. You like my alert?
Yeah,
Pretty great,
what?
right? That's from Tex Murphy.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a great game to stream because it's super slow, no voice acting, lots of reading. I didn't mind doing the characters and stuff, but it would be a great game to take on an airplane or in an airport or something like that. And yeah, it's not bad, just not for streaming.
Cool. All right.
Yep. Let me read the blurb. Let me read the blurb real quick, so you get a better idea. Case of Distrust is a narrative mystery from 1924 San Francisco. Play as private investigator Phyllis Cadence Malone in this historical 2D adventure game.
All right. How much was it? Did you say?
$14.99, but you can get it if you look on the Steam page or store page. They have a free demo that you can play if you want to know what it's like, which I think is awesome. I think it's great. However, it will in the long run lose them money, but it does gain them some thank you, kudos, kind of a shit.
Sure.
Kind of shit.
This next game I remember playing and not liking whatsoever. So I'm curious. I'm glad you played it so we can get a different take on it. Below. What'd you think of Below?
Oh man, I did not know. All right, I had forgotten that you had played this game, and you panned it a little bit.
Yeah.
For there it is.
All right, that's Below. Let's move on to the next game.
Can you rewind it just a little bit?
Great.
Just like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, for the record, I felt like this game didn't really. It was the wrong genre.
Yeah.
And I feel really weird saying that, but I feel the game had like a significant genreal identity crisis.
I remember that. Yeah. Did you just die or something right before this? Is that what just happened?
You'll see. Yeah, you'll see. This was definitely a big standout in Ko's review of the game. Is that there are insta kills.
Right.
This is my first encounter with it. I'm not sure what it is, and I kind of walk up on it like an asshole. I'm like, "Hey, this is kind of stand out from the environment. What is it?" And and you know what? We'll just let it play out. But right here it is. So I'm slicing up these monsters. I'm trying to get going, and then I'm like, "What's that thing?" And dead.
Fuck,
Why?
man, that seems brutal.
Why is that just in the middle of? It's just in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. With the traps, like that particular trap, it has a red square around it. If you can see it if you know what to look for. But
I don't remember that red square.
You will. What's that?
I don't remember that red square.
Oh, okay. Maybe they added that or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Okay, that's okay. But they have a little red square around it. So the only way after you encounter one the first time, you're like, oh shit, better watch out for those. They have a red square around them. The only way you get trapped by them is if you're running through a level and you're trying to progress as fast as you can. Sometimes you'll miss it and just run right into it. And it is an insta kill. Now, the thing that is not apparent from the description or from looking at it is this is a roguelite or roguelike. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Whichever one. Because it says it in the description now. It says adventure indie atmospheric roguelike RPG. However, in the blurb for the game, it says below is a solitary journey through the haunted depths of a forbidden isle. Explore, survive, discover. And survive turned me off immediately. I was like, I don't want to fucking do this.
Because you thought it was a survival game? Okay.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
There is definitely a survival element. However, it's not too bad. I will say it's not too bad. Once you learn how to find food and water, which is pretty abundant, it's not too horrible. The thing that Ko didn't, people were telling me that Ko didn't get to is the intermediate area, which has been like lovingly called the bank area, meaning when you get to this area, you can get to certain parts in the game. You can bank some items. You can bank some gems, which not only are used for like making campfires warpable, but also for powering your lantern. Your lantern is powered by these little like square diamond shaped gems, and it's basically like lamp fuel. But also the gems are used for something else that makes the game a little bit better. If you collect 25 of these gems, you can make a campfire. You can warp back to it if you die. So I collect 25 gems. I go to a campfire. I invest those gems in this campfire, and when I die, I can come back to this campfire. So it becomes a game of like, okay, I found this campfire. Do I want to wait for the next one or the next one after that to be able to warp to? Do I want to risk it? Because once you do that to a campfire, you can't do it again. It's a one-time use. So you make a campfire warpable, you die, you warp back to it. You can't use that campfire to warp back to again.
Ever?
You have to collect 25 more gems, find a new campfire to use.
Oh, so you can't use it ever.
Yeah. So wait a second, let me get this straight.
The campfire.
You spend like 10 minutes getting 25 gems. You do a campfire. You walk to the next screen and accidentally die to a trap. Then you respawn at that campfire. On your way to your corpse, you die again. You're just screwed.
Yes, sort of. You're not screwed.
Does it take you all the way back to the beginning or that intermediate area?
No, it takes you all the way back to the beginning. However, the thing that I was told that you didn't discover is there's a shortcut to getting into the cave.
There's like 4 of them.
Okay, so you did. Okay, so there's an ordeal, a long-ish kind of a journey to get to the first shortcut. It took me about like 10, 15 minutes to find it, but it opens up to the very beginning area, which gets you back to the cave. Now, here's the other thing. You can speed through floors if you've been through them before. You know where all the traps are, where all the monsters are, what they're going to do. So once I kind of got accustomed to like where things were on each floor, I could run through them fairly quickly. The only things you have to worry about are the traps, but if you remember where they are or kind of take it easy when you don't, it's not that difficult to get back to your body or back to where you previously were. The enemies aren't that threatening in the beginning of the game. You can run past them, you can easily kill them. But it didn't seem disheartening to me when I died. When I died, I was like, oh shit, okay. I'm sure that changes later. I'm sure that changes like immensely later in the game. Kind of like Isaac. When you're learning how to play Isaac and you're like, okay, I died on the second floor again. Okay, I died on the second floor again. And then you have to start over and you have to get back to that place again.
Right.
But if you're on a deep Isaac run and then you die, you're like, oh, fuck. You know, like, God damn it. I'm assuming this game has got that kind of a mechanic, kind of a feeling to it. However, I enjoyed my time with it. I really did. I did not expect to. There are a couple things that I didn't much like, but also understood why they did it. You are super small on the screen. Like the screen is huge and you're a tiny, tiny little sprite. I'm sure they did it for a reason. I'm guessing it's because they want to emphasize the isolation and the loneliness of the game.
Yeah,
give you that feeling of like you are a very small thing in a very big place and you're alone and you know no one's gonna help you survive. I'm guessing that's what it is. I would still rather there be an option to like zoom in even a little bit because sometimes it's really difficult to see stuff. The environments are great, dank and misty and foggy like a cave. You think a cave would be. When not sure about the background music or anything. It didn't really stand out. I can't really remember if it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't like excellent. However, the sound design is fucking great. And the difference between music and sound design is like the sound effects, the water, the rain, the monsters, the wind, that kind of shit. That was really, really, really good. But I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was going to be more survival elements, but once you get down how to do it, and that you can fill up your water bottle, you can fill up an empty bottle in any standing puddle that you find. You can fill it up and drink and stuff, and they're pretty frequent, so you can keep your water levels high. Every animal that you kill, there's crystal beings that are like real enemies, but there's also like bats and snakes and shit. You kill those, you get food. They're pretty plentiful. You can stockpile some food. Also, when you get to the campfire, you can make like soup, which fills up both your water and food levels. So the survival elements weren't too annoying because it just pretty abundantly found around the world. I didn't get into any boss fights. I'm not sure if there are any, but I didn't get to any.
Someone
after a couple
in chat
of hours
mentioned
playing.
there was one.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you going to go back to this game?
I might. I don't know.
There's a lot of people in chat that said, like, according to reviews, and maybe they played it, that the game, like, there is definitely other stuff going on within this game later on. So, I'm curious to know what that stuff is. So I'm curious to know if you're going to play more so that I can hear from you, or I need to go read some of those reviews to find out what that stuff is.
Yeah, well, here's if you look at the Steam page, it says all reviews mixed, recent reviews mostly positive. So I'm guessing they changed some shit recently.
Okay.
Now I'm curious what they changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm gonna have to go,
And someone in chat said you're wrong about several points. I don't
right,
think
and those stuff might change because a lot of people are saying like the survival stuff does get a little bit more intense later on, which might be a turnoff for you, which might keep you from playing.
And that's absolutely fine. I'm telling you, I've played 2 hours of the game.
Right. Oh, you've only played 2 hours.
Letting you know that. Yeah.
Okay.
I played 2 hours of the game, and I had a lot of fun during those 2 hours. So bear that in mind. As I just described my experience with it. It's by Capybara Games. It came out December of 2018, so it's a few months old. It's $24.99.
That's a little steep.
It's a bit high. And I had this discussion, and maybe you guys can join me on this. I had this discussion on my cast about pricing of games. And I remember every game that I bought when I was a kid and growing up, it was like full price. There was no like... It was all like 40, 50, 60 bucks. There was no like wiggle room on that shit unless you bought it used, which mostly I did. So is it okay to complain? Like when you've gotten used to paying like $14.99 for a game.
Yep. Here's the problem though. The games back in the day were like, there weren't like patches on the fly. There weren't all these updates. Like when a game came out,
indie games.
Back in the day, they were finished. Like that was it.
Yeah.
So like games back in the day were made better because there weren't early accesses. There weren't like, let me just spend 3 months banging this out real quick and I'll throw it on Steam.
Better, I think, could be differently. Maybe is the
or polished, maybe.
Well, they had
like
QA.
They more complete.
Yeah, they had QA teams probably.
Yeah.
Full QA teams, whereas like most indie developers don't.
Yeah, but like I think these days with how easy deployment is, like you can really put more value in what you're paying for a product. Like you can say, how much did I enjoy it per hour? How long did I play it? Did I enjoy it the whole time? Like this is a lot more relevant these days with early access and easy deployment and stuff like that. So price these days means a lot more than it did back in the day.
Also, they had to make a game that just stood the test of time, right? They didn't have a team that was like, cool, game's out, let's make the next one.
Yeah. I mean, game development was just different.
Back in the day, they had medium, the cost of the medium. They had to make all the physical boxes. They had to ship them all over the place. These days, it's just upload your code to a server and let the money roll in. Like, there's not all these associated costs with it. So that should be cut from the price.
Yeah. Yeah,
well,
it's
and
just different.
Like, remember having Rami on the show. And Rami, like we asked him about pricing, he's like, he just kind of put a price on it, and like,
Yeah, you
that
just
seems
guess.
about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just guess, see what like. I think people will pay $19.99 for this.
I mean, in fact,
I think people pay $8 for this one.
you still see AAA developers do it. Like we were talking about The Division, it's $100 if you want to play right now, unless you want to wait till Friday. Like that's kind of the developer just saying like, let's charge $40 extra for early access for 4 days early access, and you'll get some other side stuff, some stuff in game, but primarily you can play 4 days earlier if you pay 40 extra bucks. So like that still happens, I think, across all. That's not just indie people. It's across all of game development. It's how it is. They got to try to make their money back.
The other thing I wanna really mention is if I ever recommend a game that I played at Indie Sunday, it's because my short time with it, I know that this game is going to be fantastic. And it's very rare that I would actually recommend a game because of the short time I have with it. 2 hours playing this game, $24.99. I have no idea if it's worth it.
Yeah,
Because I don't have that many hours into it.
That's
My
nice,
time
dude.
spent with it was fun, challenging, a little frustrating, but in a good way. So there you go.
Yeah, this might be one of because, like I said, so many people said this game changes. Check out a review or check back with Zeke in the next couple of weeks to see if he plays anymore because I
hope he
think
does.
a lot of it changes. Yeah,
I really
so
hope
do
you take.
I would agree. That's below. Next is Exapunks.
Oh man.
What is Exapunks?
Oh, I saw you playing this. This looks crazy.
It's okay. Remember when I played 7 Billion Humans? You know that game? Is it 7 Billion Humans? It's
They are
7 billion
billions?
humans. No, it's 7 billion humans. This is a programmer game.
Oh, okay.
It's a coder game.
Okay.
Not KOTOR. Code or like
They made a new Star Wars game?
code.
No.
Like
sorry,
basic.
go ahead. Yeah.
This game is a basic.
Are you
language
alt-tabbing to read a
puzzle solver.
PDF?
You fucking bet I am. In the game, they recommend that you print this out, staple it together, and actually have it on you.
Oh my god.
Four.
Oh my god.
Awesome.
Dude, Dodger
It's
would
a
love
zine.
this. This is like such a thing.
Jesus.
Okay. So this game is I actually really enjoyed it, and it was really, really satisfying when you figure out how to do stuff. 7 Million Humans is a very similar game, but it's computerized and kind of the language is dumbed down a little bit. Meaning, in 7 Billion Humans, it will say loop and go back or whatever. So you're like, okay, it'll go back to this part of the program and repeat.
I'm
This
remembering
one
that game now. Yeah.
uses basic language. Like it has like abbreviations for shit. It has like link, grab. Oh god, what are some of the
Drop,
language in it?
halt.
God, I wish.
That
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
where did I put that? Is it? Do I have it in here? I have the PDF somewhere. Did I? Oh, I don't know if I downloaded it.
Yeah, you might have just had opened it. Yeah. Wait, it has to do 100 test runs. That's how you beat it.
Yeah, yes, it very, very much like a real code. You have to test it several times. That was actually the slow time, the slow mode of testing it.
Huh.
But you basically have the exapunks are these little robots. Like there's just representations of you being in the computer, like hacking into somebody else. It's a hacker. You're basically hacking other people's things to pay for these pills you need. The story is kind of didn't really get into the story because you spent a lot of time just trying to solve these puzzles. So you take these little guys that represent you, little robot guys, and you can create lots of them. And the tutorial actually guides you through like the basics of it. But after you do the tutorial, the first test is order a pizza and have it delivered to your place.
Okay.
And in order to do that, you have to have your little Exa jump over to their computer, grab their file, put your order at the bottom of the list, put the file back, and self-destruct the Exa. So like leave no trace kind of a thing, like so they can't trace it back to you. Sounds simple enough, right?
Yeah.
But you have to use proper language, you have to use proper order of things, and they grade you. Like it felt like the beginning of a coding job, but not in a bad way. Where at the end of the round, it says you use this many hops or this many steps, and it took this long and blah blah blah. And then you see like your Steam friends. Like I had like 3 people who were playing it. One of which was Giant Waffle. I guess he played this.
Yeah, I saw. This seems like a waffle game.
And who else was I playing against? If anybody was watching me, I was playing. There was somebody else who was pretty good at this. And you see like their scores and your scores, and you go like, oh shit, they did that in like half the steps. And then you feel like I imagine like a boss or not a boss, but a colleague going like, yeah, your code is functional. It's not great. It's not elegant. Like Code Monkeys, like it works, but like, man, it's messy, dude. It's a real mess.
I want to steal from someone in the chat that asked the second that this game popped up was, and you might not be able to answer, Co might be able with his coding experience. Does this game actually teach you how to code in any sense, or is it gamified so much that it doesn't teach you how to code?
I've never coded before, but it feels like it does.
Okay.
But gamified, it is gamified.
Right.
Meaning they give you a specific goal that's easy to get to, like off the bat. But it teaches you how to, it's like learning another language. It's like learning Spanish.
Okay.
You see it like a 4-letter code that means something. You look at it and you go like, what the fuck is that? You look in the glossary and it says, this means this. And you're like, okay, so from now on, when I see like Addy or Muli or Subi or, that kind of shit, I'm like, oh, I know what that means. Subi means subtract this from this and then put it back in this section. So if you have Subi x1x, it means take x minus 1 and then put the value that's left over back in x. Like the x value.
Right.
See, dude? Like, but once I got like a couple of the tutorial ones done correctly, I was so goddamn like happy.
The sense of learning. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like you figured out like a fucking like a riddle of the ages. You're like, fuck yeah, my fucking code. But then you look at the results and it shows your friends. Oh, Chat Lurking, that was her name. You look at your friends and you're like, God damn it, I could do that way better. All right, I'm gonna start over again. I'm gonna look at my code and try and like, okay, that's superfluous. Don't need that. All right, I don't need loop there. I can just do this. Can I just type the step there? It's great. I had a great time. It is like not super action heavy. Yeah, go ahead, Strip.
Are you the guy that played Into the Breach like over and over and over until you got perfect runs?
When I did play it, yes, that was me for sure. But I didn't play it. Thank you for reminding me of that game because God, I need to go back to that game. I love it. I watched Adam Coble play Into the Breach and it made me so mad.
Why?
Because he's like, that's a victory. I'm like, that is not a victory. It's like almost all your pieces are fucking broken or dead. Like, it's not perfect.
Oh God, you triggered him. He's triggered to oblivion.
I know.
How much is Exapunks, Zeke? What does it cost on the Steams?
Exapunks. Hold on one second. Let me get my library. There it is. Exapunks is. Why are you doing that? Don't be an asshole. There we go. Exapunks is $19.99. Apparently, Zachtronics is a developer and a publisher that makes games like this.
Yeah.
Because people in chat were like, oh, no wonder it's complicated. It's a Zachtronics game. And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I've heard of him as I've never seen any of the games, but I've heard that his games are coding simulators.
Yeah, Opus Magnum, Infinifactory, Ironclad Tactics, several, game. I'm guessing games like that. But just the blurb says, the year is 1997. You used to be a hacker, but now you have the phage, the sickness. That's what you need the pills for.
Oh.
You made a deal. 1 hack, 1 dose. There's nothing left to lose except your life. Came out October 22nd, 2018. $20, and that blurb really doesn't really describe most, 90% of the game. It
You
doesn't
want
tell you that
medicine?
90% of the game
I want a
you're gonna be-
pizza. Hack it.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you that 90% of the game you're just going to be sitting there going like, let me do that and then that. No, but if I get, I got to put that guy there. Oh, shit! You put this guy there!
Yeah.
That's the game.
Okay. Makes sense. The fourth and final game you played was Feudal Alloy or Ally? What was it?
Feudal Alloy.
Alloy. What? Are you playing as Bender? What the hell?
No, that's actually, if you look real close, that dome that I have in my head is a fish.
Oh, yeah, there's a fish. Okay.
Yeah. So you are a robot
Ooh, I like the animation.
warrior controlled by a fish. And it's cute. It's decent. Not much to it though. Not
Okay.
much. Like the art style is, I mean, it's obviously fantastic. I love this art. I love the art style of it. I like the idea of it, but not a lot of variety. Not a lot of like new shit. It would benefit from having new stuff more often. New enemies. A better not UI. A better menu.
UI.
I guess.
Yeah.
This particular thing is kind of funky. It doesn't really work as well as like a normal RPG. You can't there's no stats on the weapons. Like you can find possibly better weapons, but the weapons don't have number stats.
So it's like Anthem.
They have descriptions that say this will increase your oil capacity. This will do more damage, or it has damage oil capacity. So you're like, okay, but this one says damage freeze length. And you're like, okay, but what's the value of the damage? Are they all the same? They don't really tell you. It's like if the weapon has a damage bonus, it doesn't tell you if this damage bonus on this weapon is better than the damage bonus on this weapon. That kind of thing. So you kind of just have to figure it out. But I enjoyed it, but it wasn't I didn't get to a boss fight, if there is any. The currency system is a little wonky. The experience system takes a long time. I think it took longer than it should for a first level up. You know how most RPGs, they give you a level up pretty quickly?
Yeah, to teach you what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, this one took a long time to get the first level. I don't think they should do that. I think they should make the first couple of levels to get used to the system. They should make it a little bit easier to get to, because it took me well over the first couple of hours, or well over an hour to get to my first level. I was at the end of my playing of this game. But I mean, it's got charm.
Yeah, I like the look of it.
Controls pretty good. It's platforming, but it's nothing special.
All
It's
right.
just a decent game.
What was it cost?
Let's see here. Feudal Alloy. It is $16.99. It started with mixed reviews, and then the last 14 are very positive. And I'm guessing I looked at some of the reviews, and they said it was the controls were really floaty. They must have fixed it, because it felt pretty good to me. The jumping and slashing and stuff felt just fine to me.
Cool. All right.
Yep.
Well, that was Indie Sunday. It's already 3, but 5 seconds on Pathfinder King. Yeah, I always fuck this up because I'm trying to say so many. Pathfinder Kingmaker.
Winemaker.
Yeah. Everything good with it?
I'd love a breakdown.
Pathfinder Kingmaker, it has gone through 2 DLCs. I've heard great things about both of them. They introduced an entire new class. I have returned after 5 months to restart my run. I've been playing it now for 4 or 5 days, and it is so much better.
Just across the board?
It's absolutely great.
Okay.
Yeah, my run is better. I like the class I picked better. The game is a lot less buggy. There's a lot more functionality. QOL stuff has been added. A lot of the early game has been fixed up. There's brand new mechanics that I'm really excited to get to. Like it's not bug free.
Really?
It's a lot better.
And the hour and a half that I played, granted, that's nothing in the grand scheme of things when it comes to that game. It played fine. Like there were no bugs that I could tell were happening. And maybe that's just because I didn't know, but
yeah, most of the bugs now are like situational. Like if you've done this quest and talked to this NPC and you have this item in your inventory, then sometimes the NPC doesn't say the right dialogue to you. It's a lot of that like little gotcha stuff now. All the high level stuff has been fixed. Like when I played, the whole reason my first playthrough stopped was because like an entire city didn't roll over after I killed a guy properly. So I killed a dude. The whole city was supposed to change. It didn't. In fact, a bunch of NPCs spawned that didn't say anything and weren't selectable. All the old NPCs were still there. In some cases, right next to each other, there'd be a living one with a dead one right next to it. It was a complete mess. That kind of stuff is gone.
gotcha.
And so, yeah, it's definitely to the point now where people keep asking me, like, can I play it now? Yes. I mean, there are bugs in the game where I couldn't recommend people play it at the beginning. I can now say, like, you want to try Pathfinder? Try Pathfinder. Like, and it's still getting patched. Like, the dev team is still super active on it. So it's in a much better place.
Gotcha.
I'm loving my new run.
Cool. Real quick, just news. Halo coming to PC. Fucking weirdest thing, especially Steam. Never thought in my entire life would I ever see Halo on PC, on Steam, using Steam Workshop for the Forge stuff. It's kind of fucking crazy to see that.
I have mixed emotions about it.
I love it.
I love everything about it. I just hope that the PC version is
one
not
of the
like
only
other
reasons
PC.
I was good at Halo was because everyone else also had a controller in their fucking hand. And now, fucking Shroud and his goon squad have access to Halo, and I'm gonna get domed 24/7. So I don't know how I feel about that.
Stripping, he may be listening.
Yeah.
He may be listening. Don't.
I mean, he fell off a scooter like 2 days ago, so he's gonna be out for a while.
You got it down!
Yeah.
And then you think about it and realize that Shroud could probably beat you with his less dominant hand.
That's probably
Yeah,
true.
he literally could, dude. One-handed.
Yeah, that's pretty true. Yeah, that whole thing is crazy. I will probably play through some of those games when they finally come out to PC.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it, but I'm just not super excited for the multiplayer because PC Master Race.
Oh.
You know,
Someone in chat
Are they
said
going to
you
get like?
shooting arm. Oh, you're screwed. Like that's
Yeah, he
his
fell on
shooting
his
arm
left
wasn't
arm.
injured.
He fell on
It
his
was
left arm on purpose. He put all the weight on
Now
his
he
left
can-
arm, which is why
He
he's
could
in this
quite
situation, I
literally
think.
put one arm behind his back and still destroy everyone.
Probably, yeah. As long as he doesn't have to move.
But he won't move. Oh, he needs his left arm to move.
Does he though?
No.
He could probably bind move forward to
Well, no,
like mouse 4 and just hold it down.
I say that he needs Watson to move, but if he stays still, he's probably just going to have even better aim.
Yeah. Yep.
All he has to do is toggle crouch on a side button and duck headshots and kill everyone.
It's
Is it
accurate.
going to get a graphical update?
Maybe.
Like all the updated shit?
Oh,
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it will look better than I think those. Well, maybe not better than like the Xbox version. It depends. I don't think it's going to get a graphical update. They're probably just going to up-res everything because it's a PC and you can run it at higher resolutions. But
Okay.
we'll just have to see. And there's also Reach, I think, is being added to it, which is the big new thing. So, Ko, I know you have to go. Do you want to do shout-outs, then we can finish up this news?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Sorry. Do some shout-outs, and then we'll let you go.
Absolutely. Hey guys, I actually have a meeting that started 5 minutes ago, so I need to go. First of all, thank you all for watching. Huge thanks to Strippin'. It's been a lot of fun today. Thank you for answering all of our pressing Division 2 questions. Super informative, and thank you for it. As always, big thanks to JP and Zeke. You guys are awesome. And and for all you for watching. Real quick, want to let you guys know a couple quick things. First of all, this Friday, I am going to be gone to have my second kid. This weekend and the following week are going to be super crazy. So for anyone that wants to follow my streams, including our Pathfinder and PoE adventures, make sure to follow me on Twitter at CoCarnage, because I'm going to try to tweet out when I'm live. Also, as a quick note for all you fine folks and regulars, this Friday will be the first time I ever try running a rerun. So 8 a.m. we're going to be replaying BioShock on our reruns. It's going to be Passco. So if any of you guys are going to be in there and watching, really appreciate you helping the mods in spamming "This is not live" pretty much the entire time, as will be needed. So we're going to do our best, but we can only do so much. And anyway, that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching today. And I would normally at this point say see you next week, but you may not. In fact, you may not see me for a few shows, as depending on how the baby thing goes. You may not see me for like a few weeks, maybe even a month plus. JP is working on getting another guy in here. I'll probably be watching the shows with you. I may even have some streams overlap with Drop Frames because I'm really going to be streaming when I can with the kid. Trying to get my daily streams done. But yeah, I should be back in full time, hopefully in a month or so. It took about a month and a half last time with Rowan. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, don't worry. I think he's going to bring in the superior co, the better co, the Jericho.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to reach out to Jericho.
Yeah.
By the way, ExileCon tickets just went on sale for Path of Exile like 6 minutes ago. So that's cool. All right, make a funny face. Close the window. We'll get out of here, Co. We're going to keep doing news. Good luck, by the way, on Friday. Have fun. There it is.
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Love it.
Beautiful. Just some other little tidbits of news before we close out the show completely. EA is skipping press conferences this year for E3. So
Wow.
What the fuck is E3? Like Sony's not going to be there. Microsoft, I don't think, is there either. So like, I don't even know. Like, is E3 even cool anymore? Like, is
Yes.
Cyberpunk
Cyberpunk is
EDF
there, but like
EDF Iron Rain, I'm excited about. That's going to be there. But that's more of a niche enjoyment.
Yeah, I just
But yeah, I think people are kind of like, oh, Borderlands 3 got teased.
Yeah, that's part of some news. I got teased. That's on March 28th, which is actually PAX East weekend. So I bet you they're gonna have something playable there.
I think
and they're gonna
a lot of people are kind of, I think there's so many gaming events that happen all year round now that it's just not enough content to. So I mean, like I remember like games getting shown off at E3 that came out 4 years later, like Sea of Thieves, right?
Yeah.
It was, what, 2015? And it's just
yeah, it's hard to make games.
Anything to show except stuff that isn't ready. So, I mean, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's just I think like the child in me has always been like, oh, it's E3 time. I can't wait. And then now it's just kind of like, hey, remember that E3? It's dying. You're killing it.
There's a lot of stuff.
As your current job are killing E3.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff at E3 that is like, people reach out to me and be like, hey, come see this thing behind closed doors.
Yeah.
There isn't a trailer. There isn't a public announcement. And so it's becoming more of like an industry personal event than a spectacle.
Yep.
Which, RIP.
It's a thing. The last bit of news, which I'm trying to pull up because I think it was a tweet. Player Unknown is out there saying, I think, man, where the fuck was this tweeted? I can't find anything on this. There's a tweet that I think he's leaving PUBG as a developer for it or something like that. If anyone has that in chat, feel free to link it because I'm struggling to find it. Scrolling through news. This is very exciting stuff here. Yeah, so I guess it's just Battlegrounds now. Everyone in chat's just memeing on how the fact that it can't be called PUBG anymore.
He released a tweet 6 hours ago. PUBG Special Projects Amsterdam. He said, players, the past 5 years of my life has been all about Battle Royale. From the early days to now, it's been an incredible journey. Our game has reached heights I never thought possible. Today, I'm excited to announce that my new day-to-day focus will be heading up a new division of PUBG Corp called PUBG Special Projects. Going forward, I'll be based in Amsterdam rather than Korea, focused on building an entirely new division to focus on research and game development. So maybe they're branching away from the BR model. Maybe they're, I don't know, looking at something different.
Yeah, that's weird. Good for him. I'm curious to see what the fuck that means. Yeah. What else is going on? Google might announce a console at GDC, I think, next week. Also, I don't know if in tandem with that, but Jade Raymond was named a vice president at Google. So I would suspect that with her gaming roots, they're probably somehow tied to whatever it is that Google's doing with a video game console. So we'll see with that stuff. And I think maybe that's it. Maybe there's nothing else. Chat's saying a bunch about Dwarf Fortress. No one plays Dwarf Fortress. Chat. What do you stop? Zeke played Dwarf Fortress once, I think, and then he'll never play it again. Oh, he never played it. We just talked about playing it. That's how much no one plays.
Yeah, we
Dwarf
talked about it
Fortress.
because it wasn't that the RimWorld pre-gender, like the one that like okay.
Yeah. Oh, and then I guess there's this rumor going around that Sony might buy Take-Two Entertainment, which is a publisher, which I think is the publisher of Rockstar Games, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah. Anyways, that's it. I think we're done. I think we're
Take-Two made Red Dead, right?
yeah.
Online and stuff.
Yeah, GTA, Red Dead, all that stuff. Yeah. So if that's true, that'd be what would. Can you imagine the gamer uprising if Sony was like, "Hey, by the way, Rockstar, they make only PlayStation products now. They're a first party dev. Go fuck yourself."
Maybe they'll actually be fucking content in Red Dead Online. Who knows? Might be good.
I don't know. Who knows? All right, let's get out of here, and we will call it a show. Strippin', I'll have you do the, well, I guess Co already did the honors, but feel free to do some shout-outs. And, yeah, thanks for being on the show again.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you guys for having me. Missed you guys.
Do some shout-outs, sir.
My name's Strippin'. You can find me on twitch.tv/Strippin' or hit me up on Twitter @Strippin'. Later tonight, I'm going to be playing some Division with JP, most likely, probably, if he's still going. You're going to switch over and play some right now, right, JP?
Yep. Yeah, I think me and G-Mar are going to push towards endgame.
Yeah, cool. All right, yeah. I'll be free in a couple hours. I got dad duty. Feel free to come on by. We play games normally around 5-6 PST. And we play a bit of everything. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being on. Zeke, do some shout-outs for us.
Love to. What's up, everybody? Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Strippin' for being a wonderful, charming guest. Love it when you're on the show, man. Thank you to Co and JP for being great code host. Yes, code. I'm thinking about code. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at or /Ezekiel_III. And this might be the first time JP's hearing about this. But I will not be available to do drop frames for the next 2 weeks.
Oh, guess no drop frames for the next 2 weeks then.
Yeah,
I'm in, JP. Sign me up.
Maybe we'll do a
Because
different version of drop frames. We'll see.
I will be leaving for Japan next Wednesday.
I didn't realize you
going
left
to,
so soon. Okay, that makes sense.
I didn't either. I totally didn't even cross my mind because I looked at my itinerary and it said the 21st. I'm flying to Japan. However, on the 22nd or on the 20th, I'm flying to Vancouver first because Adam and I are taking the same flight. So that didn't ever cross my mind. That I was like, oh, I'm going 21st, flying out. Nope, you got to fly to Vancouver first. So got to do that. So I will be out the next 2 weeks because I'll be in Japan until the 30th. Man, it's going to be a long, long time away from Twitch, but fear not, because we have a backpack. We're going to be doing some IRL streaming from Japan, me and Adam Coble. It's going to be fantastic. And it takes a little bit of the pressure off of leaving because we are going to be streaming a little bit from Tokyo. So it's going to be great. But if you want to watch me, I'll be gaming and streaming until the 19th. And tomorrow noon Pacific is more Tex Murphy Tesla Effect. And in about 45 minutes, I will be on twitch.tv/TableStory for more Nocturne tabletop RPG action. So
awesome stuff. You'll be tweeting and all that stuff. I think you might have just said that about your IRL streams. That'll all be a thing. Okay. Yep. Any schedule right now that you guys are planning to do, or just whenever you can?
Whenever.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely want to tune into that just to see.
He's actually going to Vancouver to pick up your love child, the Canadian one.
I knew that
earlier.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
I just want to see Zeke walking around
right
in
through
Japan.
this lie.
I just want to see what people. Are you dyeing your hair at all Is it still red?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Maybe I'll die when I'm there.
I just want to see what people react to in Japan to Adam and Zeke walking around. Because I think that in itself, like I watched people react to Soda Poppin' and Wreckful, and they got reactions. Now I get to watch them react to Adam and Zeke walking around Japan. I'm excited. I think that's going to be fun times. So I can't wait for the IRL streams. It'll be a lot of fun. That is it for Drop Frames. With this revelation that Zeke and Co won't be here next week. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll bring in some ringers.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm not upset. We'll have 2 guests that don't play games while we do the show. We'll actually just have them on the show. You know what I'm saying?
How did Zeke get into auto chess? Did you do it?
I'm not playing a game right now. What are you talking? You can't prove anything. I'm offline. I'm in offline mode. You can't prove anything.
AP used to play Overwatch while he was running D&D shows. All right, this is everybody does it.
That couldn't have happened because I'd have to always show. I can't play games because I actually have to use both PCs. That's one of the things that sucks about being produced.
No, I'm talking about a couple years back. All right,
I don't think that ever happened.
There was a JP McCree, and he used to only appear when we were live doing West Marches and whatnot. All right. I'm just saying, you're coming for Zeke, but there was a time, JP.
I don't think it could have happened in Overwatch. It might have happened in Final Fantasy because you can play Final Fantasy on a shitty ass PC and use a controller to fish. So that might have been a thing.
I will say this. I will say this. When it's my turn to talk, I jump out of the game, I close the window and all that shit. I will say that. But also, I will say
admitting is the first step in our 7-step program.
But also, if I'm playing a game and you guys are talking, I can't jump in with inane bullshit and add nothing to the show.
That is true. That guy was
that's good.
dead on. Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true.
I was dead on.
All right, we're out of here. That's Drop Frames. We'll be back next week, maybe. I don't know. We'll try to figure that out between now and then and let you guys know. We'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye-bye.